Good morning and welcome to another episode of Coffee Chats with Toby. I'm really excited to speak with you today, as the topic for today's discussion is one that I get asked numerous times a year from heaps and heaps of the clients that we look after. And that is, how does fatigue and the effects of fatigue affect our performance and our overall capacity? So this is something I'm crazy passionate about, because working with a lot of athletes and other people who end up becoming incredibly dedicated to getting their 6 weekly goals that they run through with us here at Atkins Health, they oftentimes get quite down or quite pissed off when they're not delivering on the performance that they're expecting of themselves when they jump into the gym. So basically what I'm talking about here is those days that we all have when we go to the gym and we go to lift our weights, and for some reason they feel like someone's just added 10 kilos to either side of the bar, and really it's exactly the same as something that we've lifted literally 2 days ago. Or it's those days where we jump on to go for a run that we've been through every single day this week, and for some reason it feels crazy difficult and we're super slow and getting super puffed out. So what we're actually experiencing here is, in terms of our reduction in our performance, can be attributed to many, many different things. It could be our energy intake, might be that we haven't eaten enough, or it might be that we didn't get enough sleep. There's a whole bunch of different aspects or reasons why this could potentially be the case. But one that I find is far more evident or far more often occurring than all the others is that fatigue is starting to play a role or play an impact on the actual performance that we can produce. Now, this becomes more and more apparent to those people who have regular gym habits, so i.e. they're going to the gym every day or 5 days a week, or they're athletes who are requiring a lot out of their body to produce day in and day out the result that they're looking for. So what I'm looking to try and explain to these people, or you guys out there, is that your body is an adaptable machine, but it also talks to you. It has its limits. So when you're not producing and it's feeling run down and tired, the chances are it is. So this is where we start to play around in terms of our exercise scientists, our exercise physiologists, sports and conditioning coaches, where we start to look at things like periodization. So periodization is the ability or the planning aspect of looking at somebody's 6 week plan, or what it is they're looking to achieve, be it competition or be it literally just to exercise for a certain given result. And we look to program in like overtraining days or undertraining days. So essentially what this, or low load weeks, or even breaks entirely. So this is where you start to put a little bit of art together and play around a bit more with the art form of programming and conditioning. But the other component that it really plays a part in is literally just in reaction to the way that we feel. So coming in one day and, like we talked about before, and feeling like things are 10 kilos heavier than it was literally 2 days ago, we need to listen to our body and understand what's happening here. And what could be happening, or one of the more frequent occurring things that we experience when seeing this, is that we're hitting a level of fatigue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly steal this and do a bit of a screen share and take you through what this may be looking like. So the idea is that we've got 3 things at play here. We've got our capacity, so that's our ability. Well, I probably drew that too big. We've got our ability, so if we're performing at our best, we've got our capacity. Now, obviously, our goal is to improve our capacity over time with our training. Then we've got our performance, and our performance is the part that we see, right? So at the beginning, it's probably here. Our performance is going to grow, but probably not at the same rate in which our capacity is actually going. So this is our performance, so on and so forth. And then the leftover bit at the top here is fatigue. So what this is basically saying to us is that our capacity, what's going on here? Our capacity equals our performance plus fatigue. So if our fatigue is high, it's going to take out a big part of our performance. And you can obviously do a bit of algebra here and go capacity. We can change these things up. We can go capacity take fatigue equals performance. Yeah? So I've got a bit of it done up here, and it's a little bit easier to understand. So we got our fatigue, or our capacity is greatly improving over time, and our performance is improving, but not at the same rate, right? And basically your fatigue is what's in here, right? So you might go, oh, well, that's all well and good, but how does that affect myself, or what do I need to do here to make the most out of this situation? And the answer really is honestly quite simple. What we need to do is we need to listen to our body, and we need to take breaks at appropriate times. So if this is you and you're starting to feel this effect of overtraining and things are becoming a little bit more difficult, what we should essentially do is just take a break. Has any of you guys ever felt that feeling of, when you go in and do a bench press or a given exercise on a Friday, then we have 2 days off over the weekend, and for some reason on Monday we're just like Superman, like we can just lift so much more? Well, that's why. Because the break is literally putting a refresh button. It's eliminating the fatigue and basically bringing performance far closer to what our actual capacity is. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I hope it gives you understanding of your body, and you kind of get the grip now of how ongoing effects of training over a great period of time can start to put a little bit of wear and tear on our ability to continue to perform. Fatigue is slowly increasing, just like performance is, but that difference between our performance and our capacity, or our overall ability, is basically the difference that we have in fatigue. And as we all know, the easiest way to eliminate fatigue is by resting or having a little break. And or which a lot of us do when we're working with athletes who don't have the ability to just kind of take a break, we just have a deloading week. We might take off 2 reps or decrease the weight by 10 kilos across all the exercises for 1 week. Let the person recover. Let the person eradicate the fatigue and their performance, but get back up to where capacity is, and then into it we go again. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope it has some kind of practical application for you. Again, it can get a little bit confusing when I harp on about this kind of stuff. So please do me a favor and leave a comment or a message below, or direct message me personally if you want me to help out. But until next time, my friends, you guys keep it real. Have a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to talking to you again next week at Coffee Chats with Toby. Thank you.